before you know it, you were cleaning her car because she's had that influence.
Right.
In the best way.
Enthusiasm and positivity and how everything was so great when you do God's work.
Don't you want to just punch somebody like that in the face? It's like,
It's funny.
oh my
But
God.
You have to introduce yourself, George.
Take a breath.
Okay, welcome to What the Flicks podcast, episode 70. 70, wow. So anyways, I'm Susan Ayers.
I'm Patty Smith.
Lon Shima.
Jorge Sanchez.
Bob Nick Shields.
Bob Nick Shields.
Bob Nick Shields.
Okay, so our movies on episode 70 are The Beautiful Game, Bullet Train, Poignan, Selban,
Poignant.
do you think? Poignan, Selban.
That works.
Yeah, you guys don't know.
PS1.
The Animal Kingdom, and Silver Lining Playbook. So we're going to start with Bob.
Hi, my movie is The Beautiful Game. I think you're probably going to be watching a clip before I start yammering on. I'll get this out of the way up front. My best friend died last week, and I had seen this movie before. I'd already picked it as my choice, but I said, what did I have to do but sit at home and watch movies? And I said, I want to watch that movie again, and I loved it even more the second time. First of all, Bill Nighy, who stars in it, this guy can do no wrong, unless you're in a scene with him, which he will steal from you. But
On purpose.
Yeah, no, I actually had an idea. So if I was ever at like one of those dinners where they're giving him an award, I'd say, I have an open letter from Bill Nighy from all the actors who ever worked with him. We want our scenes back. Because he's just such a joy to watch now. I mean, he's been around for a long time. I think he came to real big attention in Love Actually.
God,
where he
was so
played a
great.
character that he'd already done a better version of in a movie that not too many people saw called Still Crazy.
Great movie.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
It is a great movie. It's a wonderful movie, and it's like you just can't take your eyes off him in that movie.
So
and it's also
he's such a lead singer.
Timothy Spall and all these other actors who are in it too are so great. Anyway, I'm a big fan of the series Ted Lasso, and the reason I like Ted Lasso is because it's a series that just made me glad to be alive. And that's what I needed this past week. And this movie makes me glad to be alive. The second time around, I loved it even more. The basic setup of the movie is, and this is what's really interesting. There is something called the homeless football games, and it's a thing that started, I think, about 15 years ago. It's a worldwide thing every year. Homeless people, they have homeless people. You can only play once. You can only play like one season, and they're all people who don't have a place to live, and they are able to. And some of them are decent soccer players. Some of them are homeless. Some of them can't play soccer to save their lives. Some of them are really good at it, but you have to earn your way onto this team. And in this particular film, they're playing in Rome, so you get to see a lot of Rome, and that's great. And you get to see Valeria Golino again, who I haven't seen in such a long time.
Ain't that the truth? That
She
was
is
so
so
shocking.
good in
Who's
this
that?
movie.
Which one's that?
She's the organizer in Rome.
okay.
Curly hair one.
Yeah.
Is she an actress?
Yeah,
Oh,
she's
yes.
a well-known actress, and she's so good. I mean,
Got
everybody.
that Italian deep voice.
Yeah.
Everybody is so good in this movie,
Yeah.
and in fact, there's one of the characters, one of the players, is a guy who's he's sort of a sad sack kind of guy. He's like hooked on methadone, which becomes a part of the plot. And I said, I got to find out who this guy is, and I looked him up, and he's got a career that's really happening. He just recently played, and I watched a clip of it from the Graham Norton show. He plays the MC in Cabaret on stage in London, I think,
the West
this
End.
guy is like so
West End.
so interesting to watch because you wouldn't identify him as the same guy at all. But it's a very touching, very lovely performance, and it's also like an international cast. I mean, it's like people of different colors, and the thing that got to me is the playing field. The playing field looks like they've built the base for a house and not put anything in it. It's about like 15 yards by 15 yards, as compared to, I think the usual playing field is over 100 yards by about
tiny.
70 yards
tiny.
across. And I like to see in this tiny space, and there's not big crowds that come to it. There's just a small group of people, enough people that can fit in those seats, And it's just it's a wonderful story. And I got to say, one of the reactions I had, I said, Bill Nighy obviously loves football because he's a very animated actor, but there's something about him in this where you can see he really loves being in this movie. Because I wondered, now why is Bill Nighy in this thing I never heard of? I mean, I know he'll make interesting choices, but why this movie? And I think it's pretty safe to say if you watch this movie, you're going to like it. Because it's just as a movie, it's about people helping other people. It's about people being there for other people. It's about learning to work together. The actors in it are all top notch. They're all top notch. And I don't think I'm trying to think if there was anybody else in there I even recognized.
No,
other than
that's
those
why I
two.
liked it.
You get to see a lot of beautiful shots of Rome. And just see like the guys in the street and interacting with people, with citizens and stuff. It's just I feel pretty safe in saying it's on Netflix. If you watch this movie, you're really going to enjoy it. And the director, Thea Sharrock, I think it's her fourth movie. She did a movie called If Not Me, Who? I think it was her first one, a feature she directed. And then she did one, it's an animated Disney thing with called The One and Only Ivan, which is Sam Rockwell is the voice of a gorilla. And that right alone, I got to see that movie. And there's another one she's done that's out in theaters now called, I just watched it yesterday.
Wicked Little Letters.
Wicked Little Letters, which is a very entertaining movie with Jessie Buckley, Olivia Colman, Timothy Spall, great British actors. And
Getting back to this movie.
But back to this movie, it's just like I'm not a big sports fan, but like here, two things like the series of Ted Lasso. I couldn't wait to watch the third season of it because it's just like I say, it just made me glad to be alive. And this was really a time in my life where I needed a reminder that it's great to be alive, and this movie did it for me. So
Awesome.
I highly recommend it.
Do you see a preview? Are we seeing a preview? No. Oh, sorry.
We don't.
Okay, when I saw the premise of this, I was like, when you say life is stranger than fiction, I was like, that's homeless soccer.
Was it Olympics?
What could go wrong there, right? It would be like so.
Right.
But then I investigated, and there's actually such a thing.
Yeah.
They've been doing it for 20 years.
Yeah.
That's
Right?
awesome.
Two
That's
decades.
so awesome.
Like established in 1999.
Yeah. This one's in Rome, like he said. So it's just amazing cinematography. And Bill Nighy is the coach.
Not the science guy.
And he is just very. The thing about Bill Nighy is he's just so understated and he's so British. You know what I mean? He's so British and in the best sense of the word. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, the main character in this is a guy that we kind of hook into is a guy named Vinny, and he's played by Michael Ward. And I wrote that, and he is the biggest jerk. That's how I felt about him. He is like, that's when I'm walking, it's like, this guy is irritating me so much because he's kind of a dick, right? But in the movie, he grows so much. And I think that we can all relate to this when our pride gets in the way and our he in his case, something happened before.
You understand why he's a jerk. Why he's got a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah. He's got he in a way he thinks I'm better than these people.
Exactly.
And,
yes.
I'm better than these people, but he isn't. He is one of those people, and that's any one of us can be one of those people. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing. You just want to go. Just lighten up.
Yeah. Take that chip off your shoulder.
Yeah, exactly. There are some really cute stories. Also, like Jason, played by J.E. Cole. Always Common with a Great Place, but it wasn't have. He doesn't have any filters.
Right.
There's a kind of little romance thing that happens, but he's actually kind of what I would think of as he's the sweetest guy, but he just doesn't have any filters, and that's kind of.
Yes, he doesn't understand the repercussions of things he says.
Yes. But he also, this is the thing, everybody grows. Everybody grows, and not movie kind of grows. Do you know what I mean? It's not like they grow through anything sappy. They grow from hard knocks, things that happen to them, and they have to choose how they're going to be because of it, and they grow. And this is a winning, I like this film's concept of winning. What is winning? Do you know what I mean? It's like, what is winning and what is losing? And I think that the movie has all the best winning reasons. It's kind of like your movie, Patty. I'll just do this right now, but 5. Yay! Right now.
That was the start. And everybody's looking at them like, 5.
Winning is different for everybody, and they really capture that in this movie. And I really enjoyed it.
Well, I gotta say, usually I do not like Bob's movies. We have such different tastes. And so when I saw this, I thought, I remember I loved the title. I love a beautiful game.
Yeah.
It's not too out there. I'm sure it's fine. And I really liked it. It's that it's a real thing blew me away. Just blew me away, because you always hope they'll have something like that, but you never really hear about it, so you think it's not real. I didn't know it was real until
Really. I was like,
Okay.
it's a thing.
What I like about these kind of movies is, okay, it's about a soccer team, right? But really, it's nothing to do with soccer, except that's like what holds them all together. Mm-hmm. It's about each one of their lives. And as you said, Susie, Vinny is the best player, but a complete jerk. And you see him fighting to hold up his ego with his belief of who he is. And just by accident, all the other players' personalities innocently knock it out. Right?
Yeah.
And you do see him change, but you do see everybody else change too. And Bill Nighy, funny enough, anybody could have played that part. I thought it was weird that they picked him, but I'm like you, Bob. I love Bill Nighy. He wasn't even that important in the role, even though he's probably the most well-known person in the movie. But he's a catalyst for all these other people, so it worked. I like movies that hit me emotionally, like hard. This didn't hit me hard, but I would still recommend it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, I'm the same way. It didn't really hit me hard emotionally.
Yeah,
so it's
gotta
like I was
do
sort of
that.
detached. But
That's why I liked it.
I will say this, that I agree with you about Bill Nighy, though. It's like, he's such a good actor, but okay, I could see somebody else playing this role.
Yeah.
I don't. But the fact that it's him, and he has a couple of subtle things that I think really add to the role. One, the fact that he's in Rome, where he's also Valerie Galina, as Bob mentioned, being in this movie too. That there almost seems to be like is there going to be a slight romance between the two? Because she's really attentive towards him. So he has to reveal certain things about his personality. But I agree with exactly what you said about the team. It's not about football, because you're watching this like, I'm sorry, there's nothing exciting about watching the actual games. The only thing I thought was odd about the games is that men were playing against women. Now, I never heard of the homeless World Cup, so that to me was amazing. Second of all, then it's like, oh no, they have a men's competition and women's competition. Right. So I thought they would be playing separately, but in the movie they're playing each other.
Right.
So then I thought, okay, now is this an
Well,
actuality?
there's a few women. It's not really a lot.
No, the American
There's a whole
team.
women's
Yeah.
league, and
Remember,
I think
that's
they
what they
Well,
were
yeah,
playing.
there is a women's league, but in this, there's not very many women playing. It's
Well, no,
mostly
but
there
that
are
was the
women's
thing.
teams within the movie.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
So
in the
yeah,
movie
it's
for third place when they're playing, right?
Yes.
It's like,
Yes.
okay, there's a women's team is playing a men's team,
Yes.
basically. I thought, oh, this is sort of odd. So again, I don't know if that's her kind of saying that, oh no, we should be equal, right? But then it's like, okay, I don't know what to say because I don't know much about this. I was hoping it really would center more on the homeless people, which it doesn't do that either, unfortunately. What I did enjoy, though, is the reaction of, like you said, about the homeless people playing the football game.
Right.
They're not really there for football, but they're just there because, oh, we have a time to represent people, including homeless people. And that's how I see the team, which is why each member has their odd problems.
Right.
But yet they're dealing with it. And they're trying to, as a team, that's what they're learning, right? You work as a team because to be alone is to be
They
sort of
know
on your
that.
own. Exactly.
They know how to be
which is
alone.
what that Vinny character is going through.
Right.
But I agree with you, Susie. It's complete pride. That's all it is. Complete pride.
And ego.
Yeah.
You know? So, and you get his pride because at one point you see something Bill Nighy does, and at first you think, why did he do that? And then later it's revealed, it's like, oh, okay, I see a connection now.
Right.
And I agree with you, Bob. I think the most the fascinating character was Nathan because he is the one who you can see that if I had any emotional attachment to any player was him because you can see he's truly trying to change himself. And he has to even confront his mother who you think, oh, how cruel. No, you can't come in type of thing. And then is there at the airport saying, good luck. That she just really wants to see him succeed, but she's playing by the rules because she's been told that she's not supposed to see him or do anything with him for a period of time.
Right.
And I thought, oh, that's why, because he was the one on drugs. So yes, okay, no, I can't do this. You know, she keeps telling him I can't do this because that's the rules.
Right.
And that's what I like to see, that they're playing by a certain kind of rules. Whereas the weird thing about just the homeless problem in general, it's not sort of brought up, but there's a Japanese team I
they're
thought
great.
sort of nails it.
Poor babies.
Because they almost don't care the fact that they're playing soccer there. They're just amazed that they can see the world.
Yeah.
They can
Something
take
that-
pictures.
Well, they can always take pictures, but the thing is the fact that, oh, it didn't matter if we won or not. It's just the fact that we're seeing something we would never, ever see in our lifetime.
Well, I think
and
that-
I thought that was really
It's all
important,
about different
especially when the captain is
captain
almost
at the-
humiliating herself, thinking, oh, I'm so sorry that we didn't, we
Oh,
have
she
to
was
work harder."
wonderful, too.
That's what I'm
You.
saying, exactly, yeah.
Well,
That's,
she actually had a bad attitude. The team had a great attitude.
well, that's what I'm saying. No, but because she's there and she's even learning English. You know,
Yeah,
right?
she's there
Yeah.
to take care of that team. She,
Right.
she sees that
She
as her
wants the
job,
team
and she wants to
but
be the
she
best
wants
she
the
can.
team to
She learns
win
English.
and everything, you know.
But
And that's what I
she
mean.
she wants to, but at the beginning she's humiliating them, and you can see how they're all like,
Well, because she wants the team to win.
And
She
then
wants
she
to
gets
do
it-
well.
yeah.
Because she thinks it's all about the competition. Then when you watch this movie, you realize it really isn't about the competition.
There's all
but
different
yet
kinds
it's
of
such an
winning.
amazing competition to have in this day and age.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing I wish they really centered on everyone, because even politics comes into a play. A Turk player doesn't want to play because of certain aspects. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so, or
With a
Syrian player.
Kurdish player.
Right, exactly, right. So it's really amazing how they really brought those type of aspects. I just wish it was sort of deeper, or there's something more that I had to this. But for the most part, I just recommend it only because it's like, this is something I don't even think people do know about. And it is sort of amazing. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if you start seeing this being broadcast by a sports channel
That
or on
would be
cable or
great.
something now, because something like this sort of brings it attention. I thought, people are going to be curious about this, because the fact that they're homeless is one thing.
right.
Then you're thinking, but they're homeless. How can they practice? How can I mean, they can't be athletes, which is why, Bob, I agree with you. The field is the size of a tennis court, basically, or like a volleyball
Not even
court.
that big.
I mean, it's like
Small.
it's because they're not athletes. So that's why they sort of make it that way. And I think, oh, I get that, though. I get that.
Right.
And the fact that there's so many people playing and this and that. But the organization, whoever came up with this idea, I thought, this is such a fascinating idea. I don't know how they vet for the homeless people, the people playing for them. But I thought, this is something I think the whole world needs to pay attention to, because we live in California, which is part of the United States of America, and I just know we see a lot of homeless problems here, period, which is always, in my opinion, dealing with mental health issues, not so much the fact that it's people who don't have money and can't find a place to live, or
like
it's
a
here,
whole mental
drug
thing,
addicts
yeah.
or whatever, alcoholics,
Right.
etc. So many problems, and I wish it sort of centered it on one or the other. Either go with the soccer game or do with the homeless problem. And I claim I felt they didn't really do anything about.
Well, I
either
thought they
so-
balanced them both perfectly. I mean, it's an entertainment.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I was saying. That
No, I gotta agree with.
it was just.
with,
They could, in my opinion, this could have been so
could
much
be
more.
deeper.
Exactly,
Yes, but
this
I-
could have been so much more. But
Wouldn't
what's
have
so
been the
there?
many
same movie.
people.
What's there is it's a nice little movie, and I can't deny that I would recommend
I thought it was great because they didn't preach to you. They
Yeah,
didn't.
exactly.
They just
I'm with you on
accepted
that.
it as it was.
Oh, I
know what
disagree.
you mean.
They really did preach to you. I'm sorry. They really did.
I don't
Because
think- I
I'm
didn't
sorry.
think
They
they did.
I
really
didn't
did it
feel
with the
so.
Michael Ward character. Because, see, to me, that was the Vinny character was such a cliche. It was
Right.
this and that. It's like, okay, we've seen this already, you know? And the fact that, like you said, he's so unlikable. In fact, I still didn't even like him at the end of the movie. It's like, I just wish he just went away. So,
That's true.
Interesting.
There were a
What
couple
is
of
George
things.
think?
A
Oh,
couple
sorry.
of things that I wanted to comment on too. And the first time I saw it, I heard a line in the dialogue, and when I saw it the second time, I didn't hear it, so I'm not sure if it was there or not. But that the reason Nathan couldn't stay with his mother was not because of him; it was because of her.
What?
That-
Well, how did you get that?
Because she's Al-Anon. Is that right?
Well, no, it was like that. That the problem was not. He was a drug addict.
She was
but
an
there was
enabler.
something about her being the inherent
Enabler.
cause of it.
well,
Yeah.
no, exactly.
That-
That's what she said. That's what she said. She had to stick to the rules that she was told. She could not let him in.
Right, but it
They
was
always
something.
tell-
Which is why I said that's
No, but it was
that's
something that
her,
had
yeah.
to do with like the problem was not him. The problem was her in
No,
terms of
no,
why
no,
no, the
of
problem
why
was
he
definitely
couldn't
him.
go
No.
and stay in the
No.
house
But
with her.
she was the enabler.
Yes.
But
Oh,
so
absolutely.
you have rules when you
But
quit
whenever
doing
you're
any
in
drugs.
that relationship,
Yeah.
then one person is and one person isn't. One person is the enabler and one person.
Yeah. But
Is
that's
neither
why
the
literally she
Manifesting.
says.
Yeah, well, like I
can't
said, I
do
did,
that.
the second time I didn't see that, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. That I had picked up on that the first time.
Because another thing he does mention the fact that, like I said, the fact that she shows up to show him that she supports him,
Supportive, right.
And I said that's the important part there.
Absolutely.
That she wants support, but she cannot do certain things because of what she's told not to do.
Total Al-Anon rules. George.
But I enjoyed the movie too. I thought that if they Bill Nighy's character, as he was more serious than he usually is in movies, but I think I thought that they did not go quite into the homeless, why they're homeless, but that would have been just a 4-hour movie if they went through it. And it would have become a serious drama,
Right.
whereas they wanted to go light, like Ted Lasso, they want to make it a light movie. So yeah, I enjoyed the characters too. I like to spend a lot of time in these movies. You have a team. There was colorful personalities. You have like that guy with the chip on his shoulder, that guy who was like a brainiac and he does the shark and
Yeah.
everything. Or you have so you have the drug addict. And then I like the other character too. He was clashing with Vinny. He was almost like the good Vinny in a way. He was kind of good. He was their initial striker that they had. I like that character.
Right, yes.
Oh,
And
yeah,
they
he was
and they
great.
had a lot in common because they both had daughters too. So he is. I thought he was going to make a great relationship with Vinny. He could have changed it because they have so much in common, but they didn't quite go into that either. I also thought that they were going to have that Bill Nighy and then that girl were going to also maybe they were going to go somewhere there because but they didn't.
It
But-
didn't fit the movie if
But
they had
right,
done that.
but no, but yeah, I enjoyed the movie and couple of moments to get they're like get a little hanky there. Yeah. So but yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's fun. I also like the certain things. I like the Japanese team that was so funny because they're I don't know when they're stereotyping, go to tourism and start
Yeah.
taking pictures of everything. But I like the South African team. They were just dancing all the time.
Right.
Every time they popped up, they were just dancing.
And to be
doing
quite
drums.
honest, that's what I sort of want to see, that international homeless thing, that how that's the one common thing they all have together, besides
Right.
playing football, but
Yeah.
being homeless. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I just not to interrupt, but I wanted to point out, 'cause one of the best performances in the movie was the nun,
Oh, she
the
was
South
she was
African
great.
woman. She was
She was
incredible.
great. Yeah, she was.
I
And that
looked
was
her up
Susan
after-
Wokoma.
Yeah,
That's
I
it.
said, who is she? Because I looked her up and I didn't know her from anything else, but she was amazing.
She's the nun.
She would just convince everybody to do what she wanted, regardless. Like that's a power.
Well, yeah, but there was something just so angelic about her.
But she did it in a really nice way. But before you know it, cleaning her car because she's had that influence.
Right.
In a nice way.
Enthusiasm
Yeah.
and positivity and how everything was so great
Yeah.
when you do God's work.
Don't you want to just punch somebody like that in the face? It's like,
It was funny.
Oh my
But I enjoyed it too.
okay. Okay, so,
Okay, so are we ready?
yeah.
Okay, so I give this a hard 9.
Oh, wow.
8.
I gave this a 5.
I'll give it 8.
10.
Yeah.
Ah.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Okay, so
You know what remind me too? There's this thing that I saw that's trending. It's called it's football, American football, but they play with bowling shoes on a hockey rink. And it's getting really big, like in Germany, a lot of those Scandinavian places. And I've seen some footage, and it's so funny because I'm sliding.
One of the things
George,
that's
put it
interesting
up,
about
put it up.
Yeah,
the
just show you.
fact that there is no American team for this, and that is,
There
to
is
me,
an American team.
not
Those
in
were the
movie.
girls. Yes, that's what the
Oh,
girls.
no, I thought
Yeah,
they
like-
were. I thought they were
They were
Mexican.
American.
Remember that girl?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. She was
Yeah.
because the thing is, like, the reason to me that soccer has never become popular in the United States is because we ain't going to be winning.
Except the women. The women, don't
the
forget,
women.
that our women's team won the World Cup.
well, they
That's right. And in
there's
fact,
that
yes, I mean, when I looked up the history of this, the only time England ever placed in any of the homeless games was the very first one. And they took, I think, like a 3rd prize or a 9th prize.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought they actually won. I looked it up the same thing, and they said they actually won one year.
No, they didn't win number 1. They'll have the top 4, and I think they might have placed 3rd in the very first year. But other than that,
Fucking
I
lawn
noticed
checking
the last like 6 or 7 years, it was always Mexico was number 1.
Well, Mexico, they claimed had won the most awards, I thought. Yeah, but yeah, they won 8.
Well, considering they didn't win anything after that. Pretty good.
well, everybody has down ears.
Okay.
Okay, so
So we'll be back.
we'll be back.